Let me return again to the consequences of the possible consequences of the catastrophe at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant will be much worse than after the Chernobyl disaster, isn't it not? The area of the exclusion zone around the Zaporizhzhia NPP may be about 30,000 square kilometers. This is almost 10 times more than the Chernobyl had. The area of potentially contaminated territories may amount to 2 million square kilometers. That is, this is an unprecedentedly vast territory. For comparison, after the accident and the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, potentially contaminated territory spread to 200,000 square kilometers. Almost the entire territory of the Zaporizhzhia region may be uninhabitable for hundreds of years. About 1 million people might get radiation burns. In Chernobyl, there were 600,000 of them, and the death toll might be 10 times higher than Chernobyl's. A significant release of radioactive cesium-137 may occur, which will pose a risk to the health of citizens. The condition of water bodies and soils. This element is intensively absorbed by soil and bottom sediments and contaminates food. Radionuclide contamination will spread to the Dnipro, Black, and Azov seas. Why do those two keep their eyes open, have them wide shut? That is my question. Why the agency for atomic energy is not ringing all the bells, raising an international-wide alarm? They just watch and talk. Don't they understand the consequences to the world? Why is nothing being done?
My opinion is that because they are very much interested in the continuation of nuclear industry globally. They are the agency to manage nuclear industry, right? And as soon as nuclear facilities shows how dangerous they are losing credibility. So that's why they are trying to show that all is as calm and nice as possible, and nuclear power plant is safe and everything is fine. Not so much because of the Russian influence there, but rather because they are interested in showcasing that the nuclear energy is great, safe, green, fluffy, and the right way is, as I've already mentioned, the right way to be phase out of nuclear energy in future, slowly, systematically, but not supporting it.
All right, I'm with you. So these guys are bad guys are like showcasing, like the atomic energy and nuclear power are not so safe, and you are just said that. But what about your fellow environmental organizations that were just same sluggish? I mean, they were all sitting down and watching. Nobody reacted in the same day even. They in a couple of days, and let me tell you, the United Nations were literally tweeting their infamous tweet now at the moment, the Russian language day. Really? What are they for? Is that maybe the point where we have to change the whole United Nations Security Council at the moment was presided by Russia, which is mind-boggling. And your fellow environmental organizations were like shocked. What happened? What do we do? Nobody had a system. Nobody had the knowledge what to do. This is why I previously asked you about some rules, like instructions of conduct for the people that left without fresh water. Nobody even, they did. I mean, it's a disaster inside the disaster. It is literally Russian matryoshka. That's what Russian aggressive war machine made in Ukraine. And we opened the next matryoshka doll. It's even disaster inside it, in there, planted. So what do we do with all these environmental organizations? What is your advice to make them work better?
I don't think that the environmental organization's role is to fix something in the fields now. The role of such organizations is rather to influence policy making within the long-term planning and vision process. So I don't see a problem that they were not reacting, because so much quick response is the task of the rescue services or the services in the fields. And That's one part of the story. The second part is that the scope of the catastrophe is unique. There were never, ever such massive areas impacted so quick, and definitely this the task of the local services to react, and before they had to plan such consequences, and how to deal with them, right? UN, you mentioned, definitely. This, for me, very similar to the League of Nations story that was already. Such kind of structures went through such stories before. And the bigger organizations are the slower processes and more bureaucratic processes are inside. So I never rely on quick response within the big international institutions. It's just not possible because of their size and slowness.
Well, let me strongly disagree with you. I mean, disagree in what term? These international organizations, I'm not asking to turn back the hands of time. What I'm asking of these organizations is to react in time. The Russian language day, in the day where that catastrophe happened.
Yeah, they showed their face, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, I agree here.
Well, let's change their faces then, because I don't want these faces to look at them anymore. What about your organization? Did it react? Did it respond in time? What did it do after that happened?
Organization I'm working with don't have their office in Ukraine or the staff here, except of me actually, and one of my colleagues. And we're working via partners. So we are supporting partner organizations which are working in the fields and cooperated previously with the few organizations supporting them with funding so that they are better equipped, they are better supported with vehicles, with facilities to do such rescue operations. And so we were rather working for make them more prepared for disasters. And when such disaster happens, just it's time for us to have lessons learned, to understand what's working, what's not.